I ain't got nothing going on today. I'm deloading this week before the competition. Absolutely no lifting going on. So I thought I'd give you a little rundown on my home gym. What I've got, what I use to compete in the sport of strongman and just work out. So I'm going to show you how I've got my home gym set up, some of the pieces of equipment that I got, some of the things that some of the things you definitely need to have, and then some of the things that are more luxury, kind of get as you start to build and grow. So let's take a little tour through my home gym. First thing we're going to start with, this is my rack. It's actually a squat stand is what it is. It's a Rogue, I think SML. You got what, Monster Light. So I bought this thing back in 2020 when the gyms were shutting down and couldn't train in a gym. I ended up buying this thing so that I could stick it in this garage, have a place to train. That little bench there, that came off of Amazon, I think a little $100 bench. I've also got a cap bench up here, cheap bench. I do not have a high dollar bench, and I've bench pressed 400 pounds on these benches, and I know they're not rated for that, but they have held up to it. So don't worry about the blue belt. That's just laying there from a jiu-jitsu class. I hung the white one up here. I just got my blue belt probably a month ago. So got the white one up here. While we're here, got some of the collars for the barbells. I've got some chains, some bands. I put some nails on the wall to hold up my wrist wraps, dip belt. Put some 2x4s up to hold the barbells. So I bought that barbell. Same time I bought the squat stand. Bought the axle from Titan Fitness. And back behind here, this barbell, just your normal cheap, probably $70 barbell I actually found in a dumpster. And then I have bought a Valor Fitness deadlift bar. You got the Titan Fitness rackable log. I would not recommend buying it. I'd recommend buying a good log, but this is what I have. This is what I train my log with, and it will get you by. But I have had to fabricate, do a little welding on it, add some braces, which I mistreat. I'm sure I mistreat the log. So looking at my all my weights, just an assortment of weights. Cap weights I've bought from Academy. Weights I have bought from just like people down the street. There's another guy who's got a little home gym who has sold me some weights. I have bought all of these hammer strength weights at the same time I bought the rack back in 2020 when I was trying to get a home gym. And if you remember the time, you could not find hardly anything. And I've searched high and low and I found these, and I ordered them right when I found them. The rest of these caps have come from like Academy Sports. You can find weights. They're not cheap, but you can find weights like Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace. But buying them from the store and stuff, they're not cheap. I've got a deadlift jack hanging up there on some boards. Coming on over, let's look at the sandbags. Okay, you see I got one over here in the corner. It's a 150. This is, I think, the 309 pound. It's actually a kilo bag is the way Cerberus sells them, but I think it comes out to 140 kilo bag, something like that. It's a 309 pound bag. I've got 305 in it right now. I've got the Rogue 250. I have got the Ludus Imperium 250. You can buy the Ludus Imperium on Amazon. Found that out from, let me think. I can't think 100%, but I follow him on YouTube. He follows me on here, Preacher, Powerlifting Preacher, I believe is right. Powerlifting Preacher. I watched one of his videos, and Ludus Imperium for cheaper, good quality sandbags. Haven't had any problems with it. I've just bought it probably 2 months ago, but I do a lot of sandbag training, and I hadn't had no problems with it. It holds sand. It hasn't leaked any. I've got some of the cheaper, you know, tie at the top sandbags. Those are, that's a Muscle Pirate. I've also got a 300 that's probably up in there, not field, Muscle Pirate sandbag. I've got a couple of throw bags. It's a Ludus Imperium. That's a Muscle Pirate. Like I said, the Ludus Imperium is actually a good find from what I've found. They only go up, I think, to 250, what I found. So if you're wanting to do 300 plus pound sandbags, you'll have to go with a Cerberus or a Rogue or a Freedom Strength or something like that. Back in here, we have a Titan 10-inch circus dumbbell. I would not recommend buying it. I've already bent it, but saying that, I use the 10-inch Titan circus dumbbell anytime I have a circus dumbbell in a competition, and it has served me well. I would rather have a 12-inch, and I'd rather have a good, like, you know, Texas Concepts dumbbell, but it has served me well. I just would not buy it again. I would save up the money and buy a good one. But if you're like me, when you're getting started, you don't have a lot of money, and you've got a family, and you've got a wife and kids, and this is kind of just a side quest. And I didn't have a whole lot of money at the time when I was getting all this started, so I bought what I could afford, and I've still got that, you know, Titan circus dumbbell, and I make it work when I have to, and I still use my cheap Titan log because I still haven't bought a good log and a good dumbbell. So they will get you by. They're just not the greatest. But then again, I'm not buying the high dollar stuff yet, so. This here is a yoke, the Titan T3 yoke, I believe. It also can serve as a rack. You can put J cups. I've got J cups for it that'll hold a bar. You can move this cross arm and up or down, and you can squat out of that just like a regular rack. You can bench press out of it, put you a bench in there. And it also serves as carrying a yoke for a strongman event. And have the Titan Farmer's handles here. I've also got the cross members to make it a frame. But so the Titan yoke, I do like it a lot. No reason to buy the high dollar yoke from like Rogue. Same thing with the Farmer's handles. The Titan Farmer's handles have their clutch, the Titan axle bar, good. Like I said, I don't want to knock the Titan circus dumbbell too much. I just wouldn't buy it again. For one, I want a 12-inch, and for two, you can just tell they're a little on the cheaper side. I've got a small assortment of dumbbells. down in here. Some of them are holding down my newest addition to the gym here. This back extension, 45-degree back extension. I have added it to the gym over the last, I don't know, I probably bought it 3 months ago. Just a cheap cap strength back extension that kind of watching Pete Rubish and listening to him talk, I ended up buying one and putting it into my training, and I'm currently going to see how adding back extensions, weighted back extensions, help me with my deadlift and overall back strength and health in general. But I don't have them in here. They're actually in my truck because I take them with me to different places sometimes. But I have the Titan loadable dumbbell handles that you can put the 2-inch hole, the 2-inch plates on. So I can make dumbbells as heavy as I want to. And I've also got some 1-inch, right over here. I've got some 1-inch handles that I can make dumbbells with, and I've got 1-inch plates that's got the little 1-inch hole. I've got several of them, and then with this collar that goes on here, that sits right inside the 2-inch plates, and I can actually put the 2-inch plates on here as long as they're butted up against a 1-inch hole plate. So if that makes sense, I can make as heavy a dumbbells as I want. I borrowed these boxes. They're not mine. Borrowed these boxes for the current training for the current contest that I'm going to be competing in, squatting down to boxes. I've got the Titan crash pads up here stored away on top of this refrigerator. I've got a scale. I use a scale a ton out here training. I weigh things probably too much. I like my sandbag. I weigh my sandbags all the time, and like I'll weigh my plates. When I post my weights and stuff like that on Instagram, the weight that I post, sometimes I'll post and it'll be like 253 pounds overhead press, and that's because I weighed it. I weighed each plate and took it down to the all the way down to the bar and weighed everything. The mats here, they're horse stall mats. You can buy horse stall mats at like a Tractor Supply. They're I don't know, probably 1/2 inch, 5/8 thick, 4x8 or a 4x6. They're heavy duty rubber. Very good gym flooring. Like them a lot. Put some stickers on the wall. Got my Strength by Sacrifice banner. US of A. One thing I've got around here that I like to play with is stones. I live pretty close to the Mississippi River. This is a 299 pound stone, and it's acting as a yard decoration. Same thing over here. I've got a 225, a 200. These are stones that I have found down by the river. And then coming back here to my backyard, we've got the chickens. But while we're here, I wanted to, this is all part of my gym, kind of. I train with this stuff. We've got a 150, 172, 183, 192, 205, I believe, 205. So stones, something I like to play with, something I like to be a part of my training. That when I first got into strongman, that's kind of what lured me in, was the naturalness, the grittiness of it, the picking up stones, you know, that kind of stuff. I like that. This is from here, the garage gym. When you're walking into my garage, it's just over here on this side. My wife still parks her car in here. So I've got my bars all hung up. Try to keep everything halfway tidied over here. And I think that's about it, guys. I've probably got a couple things tucked away up in these cabinets that I don't use, or that I very rarely use. But the main thing that you need is you need a rack that you can bench and squat out of, and you need a barbell and some plates. And then you can squat, you can bench, rubber mat to deadlift on. You can do rows, you can do overhead presses. I mean, that's really all you need. And then you can start to find you, instead of having like a whole rack of dumbbells, you can buy you the handles that will take, you know, the plates that you're buying to go on your regular barbell. So that's what I got. This is my home gym here. This is what I train out of 4 days a week for the last year and a half, sometimes 5 days a week before that. Every now and then I will pop into a gym down where my buddy works, like on a Saturday, and train with him. But this is my main training place. I wish I had like a power rack, like a Titan power rack. I'd like to buy a Titan power rack and get like some cable attachments, a cable set up to where I could work in something like some tricep extensions. That's just adding on. That's just me thinking now. You don't need that stuff. You can do, you know, skull crushers. I've been doing skull crushers and overhead tricep extensions with all free weights, barbells, and all that kind of stuff. But I'm just thinking down the road, I'd like to get a real, actual, full rack with the cables, and be able to do like some rowing with the cable machine and different stuff like that. But you can make it work, guys. It don't take much space. Let's just think here for a minute what I've got. I have got, that is probably 7 to 8 feet by, I'm gonna say 14 feet. I'm gonna say 8 by 15. 8 by 15. And that's probably a little big, but you can fit all that in there. Thanks for watching, guys.